You need a home and I need a mommy, said the little girl to the young homeless woman at the bus stop. The words cut through the freezing November air like a knife through Maya's heart. She looked down at the small face peering up at her, a girl no older than 6 with tangled brown curls and eyes too wise for her years. Maya clutched her threadbare jacket tighter, her cardboard sign still propped against the bench that had become her bed for the past 3 months. "What did you say?" Maya whispered, though she'd heard every word perfectly. The little girl stepped closer, her pink backpack nearly as big as she was. "You need a home and I need a mommy. Maybe we can help each other. If this story touches your heart, please hit that like button, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Trillionaire in Love for more inspiring stories. Drop a comment below telling us what brought you here. Your support means everything." Maya's hands trembled, and not just from the cold. She'd been living on the streets since losing her job at the diner, a cascade of bad luck that started with her landlord selling the building, followed by her ancient car breaking down, then missing too many shifts trying to find shelter each night. At 23, she'd gone from barely making it to having nothing at all. "Sweetheart, where's your mommy now?" Maya asked gently, scanning the nearly empty bus stop. "Heaven," the girl said matter-of-factly, "6 months ago. Daddy says she's watching over me, but I can't see her, so I don't know if that's true." She sat down on the bench next to Maya, swinging her little legs. "I'm Emma." Maya's throat tightened. "I'm Maya, but honey, where's your daddy?" "Does he know you're talking to strangers?" Emma pointed down the street. "He's at work." "At the tall building with the blue windows?" "He works all the time now. Mrs. Henderson watches me after school, but she fell asleep, and I wanted to see the buses. I like watching them go places." The innocence of it broke something in Maya. Here was this child, motherless and lonely, speaking to a homeless woman as if she were just another person. Not invisible, not threatening, just someone who might understand loneliness too. "Emma, we need to get you back to Mrs. Henderson. She's probably worried sick. Will you come with me?" Emma's small hand slipped into Maya's calloused one. "I don't want to go back alone. It's scary when people are scared about you." Maya should have said no. She should have found a phone, called someone, kept her distance. But the warmth of that tiny hand in hers, the first human touch she'd felt in weeks beyond shoulder bumps and suspicious glares, made her nod. They walked 3 blocks together, Emma chattering about her school, her deceased mother's love of butterflies, her father who she barely saw anymore. Maya listened, really listened in a way she realized no one had probably listened to this child in months. Mrs. Henderson's apartment building was modest but clean. When Maya knocked on door 3B, the door flew open to reveal a grey-haired woman with tears streaming down her face and a phone pressed to her ear. "She's here. She's here." Mrs. Henderson sobbed into the phone. "Emma's safe." Then, seeing Maya, her expression shifted to confusion and suspicion. "Who are you?" "I found her at the bus stop," Maya said quickly. "She's okay? I just wanted to make sure she got home safe." Mrs. Henderson pulled Emma inside, checking her over frantically. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Chen. Yes, she's completely fine." A young woman brought her back. "I must have dozed off. I'm so sorry." Yes, I'll stay awake. I'll keep her right here." She hung up and looked at Maya with new eyes, really looked at her. At the dirt under Maya's nails, the hollow of her cheeks, the garbage bag of possessions by her feet that she'd carried the whole way. "You're homeless," Mrs. Henderson said, not unkindly. Maya lifted her chin. "Yes, ma'am. But Emma's safe. That's what matters. Mr. Chen is coming home early. He'll want to thank you himself. Please, won't you wait? Come inside. It's freezing out there." Maya hesitated. She'd learned that charity often came with strings, with judgment, with police calls. But Emma was pulling at her hand again, those big eyes pleading, and Maya was so tired of being cold. Inside the warm apartment, Maya sat stiffly on the edge of a chair, while Emma snuggled against her, talking non-stop. Mrs. Henderson made tea and sandwiches, studying Maya with an expression she couldn't quite read. 20 minutes later, the door burst open. A man in his mid-30s rushed in, still wearing a suit jacket, his tie askew, panic etched across his features. "Emma! Daddy!" Emma ran to him, and he swept her up, holding her like she was his entire world, which Maya supposed she was. After a long embrace, he set Emma down and turned to Maya. "You brought her back?" Maya stood, awkward and out of place in this family moment. She was at the bus stop. I just walked her home. James Chen studied her face, and Maya saw the moment he registered what Mrs. Henderson had, the signs of someone living rough. But instead of the usual response, his eyes filled with something else. Understanding, maybe, or recognition of something deeper. Emma talks to everyone, he said quietly. It terrifies me. Especially after... He couldn't finish, but Maya understood. After losing his wife, every risk must feel catastrophic. She's a sweet kid, Maya said. You're lucky. I know. He paused. What's your name? Maya. Maya, I know this is unusual, but please let me buy you dinner. A real meal as thanks. There's a diner around the corner. Emma can come too, and Mrs. Henderson can join us, so you know this isn't... I just want to say thank you properly. Maya wanted to refuse. Charity burned, even when it came wrapped in kindness. But she hadn't eaten a real meal in 2 days, and Emma was already pulling on her hand again. And something in James's eyes wasn't pity. It was genuine gratitude, mixed with a bone-deep weariness she recognized in herself. At the diner, over hot soup and sandwiches that tasted like heaven, the story came out in pieces. James was an accountant, working 12-hour days to afford the same apartment, the same life he'd built with his wife before cancer took her. Emma was struggling in school, acting out, her grief manifesting in clinginess and nightmares. Mrs. Henderson tried her best, but she was 72 and exhausted. I don't know what to do, James admitted, his voice cracking. I'm failing her. She needs more than I can give right now, but I can't afford to work less. The medical bills are still... He stopped, glancing at Emma, who was absorbed in coloring on her placemat. Maya found herself talking too. About the job loss, the eviction, the way the world looked different when you were trying to survive versus trying to live. About the diner where she used to work, ironically a different one across town, and how she'd loved making people smile with good service and remembered orders. You worked in food service? James asked. For 3 years. I was good at it too before everything fell apart. Something shifted in James's expression. Calculation mixing with possibility. The diner I used to take Emma and my wife to is hiring. I know the owner. If I recommended you, if you had an address to put on the application... Maya's heart clenched. I don't have an address. What if you did? James said slowly. What if we helped each other? Over the next hour, an unlikely arrangement took shape. James had a spare room, his wife's art studio untouched since her death. Maya could stay there, rent-free for 3 months in exchange for helping with Emma after school. Getting her to activities, helping with homework. Just being there. It wasn't formal childcare, James was clear about that. It was 2 people in crisis, finding a way to help each other survive. The challenges came immediately. The first week, Maya woke from nightmares of being back on the streets, convinced it was all a dream. Emma had meltdowns, testing Maya's patience and presence, needing to know if this new person would abandon her too. James struggled with allowing a virtual stranger into his home, into his daughter's life, wrestling with trust and desperation. Maya got the job at the diner, but her first paycheck went to replacing clothes and shoes, so worn they were falling apart. She had no savings buffer, no safety net. One mistake, one conflict, and she'd be back on the streets. The breakthrough came on a Thursday night, 3 weeks into their arrangement. Maya was helping Emma with homework when the little girl suddenly threw her pencil across the room. I can't do this. I'm stupid! Mommy always helped me with math, and now she's gone and nobody cares. Maya could have been stern, could have been patient in that condescending way adults often are. Instead, she knelt down and said, You're right. It's not fair. Your mom should be here. You should have her help. You're not stupid. You're heartbroken, and that makes everything harder. Emma stared at her, tears streaming down her face. You understand? Yes, sweetie. I do. I lost things too. Different things, but loss is loss. And you know what? We're allowed to be sad and angry about it, but we can't let it stop us from trying. Your mum wouldn't want that. Emma climbed into Maya's lap, and they sat there on the floor, both crying, both healing something neither had expected to heal. James found them like that and nearly broke down himself. Later, after Emma was asleep, he told Maya, she hasn't cried about her mother in weeks. She's been holding it all in. Thank you for letting her feel it. The months unfolded with challenges and small victories. Maya got promoted to shift supervisor at the diner. Emma's grades improved and her nightmares decreased. James started leaving work on time more often, learning to delegate, to trust. The three of them developed rhythms: movie nights, Sunday pancakes, homework battles, and homework victories. But the real transformation happened in the in-between moments. Emma teaching Maya to braid hair. James and Maya staying up late talking about loss and hope, and what it means to rebuild. All three of them learning that family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's who shows up, who stays, who chooses you. 6 months after that day at the bus stop, James sat Maya and Emma down with a serious expression. Maya's heart dropped, certain this was when the arrangement ended. Instead, he said, "I spoke with a lawyer. Maya, if you're willing, I'd like to make this permanent. Not just the room, I mean a real living arrangement, a real co-parenting situation for Emma. You've become family. I don't want you to feel like you have to leave ever. I want this to be your home." Emma launched herself at Maya. "Does this mean you'll really be my mommy? Like for real, for real?" Maya, tears streaming down her face, looked at this man and this child who had saved her as much as she'd saved them. "I'd be honored. The road ahead wouldn't be perfect. There would be hard days, conflicts, growing pains, as they navigated this unconventional family. But they had something more valuable than perfection. They had each other, and the willingness to keep choosing each other every day." Emma had been right that day at the bus stop. Maya needed a home. Emma needed a mommy. And sometimes, the most beautiful families are built not from what we have, but from what we're willing to give each other when we have nothing left to give. This story reminds us that hope can come from the most unexpected places, and that sometimes the people who save us are the ones who need saving too. If this touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to believe in second chances, and subscribe to Trillionaire in Love for more stories that celebrate the resilience of the human spirit. Comment below and tell us what act of unexpected kindness changed your life. Your stories matter, and this community is here for you. Thank you for being part of this journey.